So how's it going, everyone? Welcome to more Wings of a Bee and another grind, basically. Another boss that's gonna take some time, you know, pretty much the usual, nothing really different. So yeah, just gonna start like right into it, because yeah, I mean, a boss like this is something that is probably gonna take more than 2 streams. So I mean, if I don't give up before that, but let's pretend that I actually won't, right? These leeches are a problem though, because they have pretty big hitbox and they always attack you, you know, pretty consistently, since I think they are pseudo-aimed. And the reason why I say pseudo is because they can come from below or from above, but I feel like they track you down somehow. Well, I mean, I know that obviously the ones that the monster fires are tracked down, but like, yeah, these ones are obviously following you, but I don't know about the ones that spawn like once in a while. I'm not sure about those. But in any case, it's probably gonna be the first attack that I need to learn, because I'm just getting hit a lot by that attack. I mean, the other attacks are mostly fine. I mean, special emphasis on mostly, but yeah, the one with the leeches, I don't know what to do. Like, they feel like if there were projectiles with a smaller hitbox than that, that would, I mean, make sense, right? But they have such a big hitbox, considering that they get fired non-stop, right? Damn, I'm dying pretty fast. Like, you know, faster than I usually did on the last stream, right? Maybe I just need a warm-up. Oh wow, that hit. I mean, the hitbox of every attack in this fight is huge. I don't think there is any exception. Yeah, seems like I'm just getting destroyed right now. That's fine. I still wanna learn this, like the name of this monster. I still don't know, because I can't read that awful font. Even, like, I'm trying, it's not like I'm just saying that the font is awful because I'm salty. Saying that it's awful because it is awful. So yeah. Don't really know what it's supposed to be saying. What I do know is that it will be really good to learn his name, just so I can properly insult him. Right? That will be the most useful thing about it. So, why am I getting hit this bad? Like, what am I missing? Maybe I'm being too aggressive. Should be a little bit more defensive. Maybe I'm being a little bit aggressive with the rocks. Oh, well, yes, there we are. Yeah, I should have stayed on the middle platform, but the reason why I wanted to stay on the side platform instead is enable to, you know, sorry, in order to dodge the Lich's attack. I feel like it's easier if you start from a side platform than if you start from the middle. Like, way easier. Or at least that's how it should be, I think. Wow. Every single one of those hit. Nice. Hey Thundit, how is it going? It's been some time. Yeah, playing Solgrim's game indeed. And I'm regretting every second of it. But you know, I think it's already too late to give up. Well, maybe not. It's never too late to give up. But, you know, this game is... I mean, I don't think I should blame the game. It's the fact that this specific difficulty, Demon Mode, is so busted, right? Like, everything is so... I mean, I will call it hard because, well, obviously that's what it is, but... I don't feel like it's the fun kind of hard, right? Who has it been? Never really seen much of this game. Well, the thing about this game is that it has 3 difficulty modes, which are basically Angel Mode, Mortal Mode, and Demon Mode, ordered by difficulty. Basically, the harder the mode, the longer the checkpoints are, and the more hard, like the harder the enemies are as well, right? Thing about having less checkpoints is that some sections are so unnecessarily hard because they are so long that you have to grind for hours just to get past the section. And the bosses, as you can see, they are so incredibly hard that you have to be fighting them also for hours. Which again, shouldn't be a surprise in a Solgrim game, but I don't know, I just feel like it's especially frustrating here. But you know, I guess I just gotta get used to it. Although, getting used to it is, you know, a little bit hard considering that I am already almost halfway through the game, so if I didn't get used to it now, I don't think it's gonna change. It's been some time, been busy. Alright, I see. Demon Mode is basically the equivalent of Rage Mode? No, because Rage Mode in Boshi basically requires you to not die in, you know, in any zone. Here, this Demon Mode is kind of like hard-on mode, it's just that it's overall harder. So, like, you know how in Boshi hard-on mode has, actually, what was the difference between hard-on mode and normal mode in Boshi? I can't remember. I actually don't remember what the difference was. But, you know, yeah, harder than hard-on in Boshi, indeed. Well, at least for me. I mean, one of the hardest parts, at least, is that the hitbox of this character is the whole sprite. Right? So you have a huge hitbox, but the attacks are everywhere. So it's kind of like having Boshi level attacks with a huge hitbox. Like, imagine playing Ryu in Boshi, but instead of having the same hitbox as Boshi, it has the full thing. I mean, obviously disregard the impossible jumps that wouldn't obviously be possible with Ryu on a full hitbox, right? But like, it's like everything else that is possible will be like this game, pretty much. It really feels like you're playing Ryu with a full hitbox on a game that is as hard as Boshi. Or maybe harder, I don't know. What I do know is that the grind is just too much. Because in Boshi, I remember getting stuck in some bosses, right? Like for example Mario, Sonic, Mega Man, and obviously Soul Green and Cheetah Man. But, you know, I didn't get stuck for as much as I got stuck here. Basically, I had a boss called the Dark Annihilator that basically was like, what, the fourth boss? The third boss? And he took me literally 8 hours, right? 8 hours just to beat that boss that was one of the first bosses. So, the thing about that, damn, I screwed up there. The thing about that is that Boshi didn't took me that long except for the final bosses, right? After my recent ride, awful hitboxes sound all too familiar. Yeah, I see. Yeah, huge, I see. Yeah, this is pretty much a huge hitbox in a game with a lot of stuff on screen, right? Hey, Mr. Tusk, how is it going? You seem to be a little bit earlier today, huh? Oh, I had an additional dash? Alright. That was too early. I mean too late, not too early. I'm at home a bit depressed. What happened? Did I miss something after leaving? After leaving the office, I mean. Playing Touhou 17 for a while, what are your final thoughts? Touhou 17, I feel like it's I like the game. I don't like that much the roar mechanic, though obviously it's not as awful as the UFO mechanic. But, you know, I feel like for something that is optional, it shouldn't take that much space on screen, right? Because it really distracts you from the whole thing, right? In terms of difficulty, I will say that, you know, it was pretty balanced. I mean, sure, it wasn't that bad. The shot types, though, are insanely unbalanced. Like for example, Yomu B and C are trash shot types. Like, they are just straight up garbage. And, you know, aside from that, I feel like the game is pretty, you know, solid. I don't like the final boss theme, though. That's kind of like one of my only disappointments in terms of, you know, the artistic value of the game. I feel like the final boss theme was so out of place and so non-fitting for the fight that I really wonder what Sun was thinking, but, you know. Again, music is subjective, so, you know, I might not like it, but there are people who like it, so. How do you know you're halfway in the game if you're playing blind? Because you have that percentage in the pause menu. It says 43%. That's the overall progression of the game. Including secrets, yes, but it's a pretty, you know, I guess accurate estimate. So yeah, we're pretty much halfway through, almost halfway through at least. We need to hurry up. Tomorrow this project is giving me cancer. Damn. Well, I will do what I can, but, you know, you gotta understand that we are just humans, right? So that includes yourself as well, right? not just talking about myself. Like, if we can't make it in time, like, fuck them, right? I mean, you're not gonna lose your health just because of a couple of, you know, assholes that don't even understand how software development works. I mean, stressing out over things like that is just not worth it. Like, just, you know, if we don't make it in time, who gives a shit? I mean, they are not gonna fire you. And even if they fire you, it's not like you're thinking about staying for too long, so what's the problem, right? I don't know, I don't feel like there is any problem. Like, if we somehow don't make it in time, who gives a shit? Oh, fuck. Oh, nice. Oh, I'm fucked. Yep, I'm dead. Wait, no, I'm not dead? Oh, I didn't receive that much damage on the first phase. That's why I'm not dead. Oh, I'm not supposed to jump. I'm just supposed to go to the left. And then take the wing and dash. Okay. And this section is the same shit as the first one. It's just going to the left, right? Didn't like the mechanics in that game that much either. How long have you been on this boss so far? I think 2 hours. I mean, I just started today, but on the previous stream I think it was 2 hours. Which is quite a lot, but not so much compared to a boss that took me 9 hours to beat, right? So we are still pretty early, believe it or not, in this boss lifespan. Oh, I completely fucked that up. You're right. Yeah, I know. Like, that's the thing. Like, you gotta mentalize. It's not worth to get pissed and, you know, get nervous about this sorry-ass project, right? Like, just relax. Just, you know... Even if the people, like the client is completely, you know, completely dumb, you know, just like, just laugh it off. Like, who cares? Like, let them eat shit. Again, it's not like the company's gonna fire you. Oh, I fucked up. I didn't see that. Other than the difficult, what do you think about everything else? Well, the thing is that everything else is like... If I had to disregard difficulty, I will need to evaluate graphics and music. And well, I guess enemy design and all of that. The thing is that the music in this game is so incredibly generic that I don't even remember a single theme from this game. And we're talking about a game where I have been fighting bosses for 9 hours. I don't remember the music because it's so bad, so generic, that I just don't. Graphic wise, well, it's just a pixel art game. There's not much more than that. And yeah, gameplay wise, I can't talk about gameplay without talking about difficulty. And when it comes to the difficulty of Demon Mode, the difficulty is just... it's just too much. I probably should have started with Mortal Mode. If I have started with Mortal Mode, maybe my impressions will be different, but... you know, in any case, I had big hopes for the game at the first screen, right? Like the first zone, but then I was like, it's too hard. But you know, it's not like being too hard is is bad. It's just that the way it's hard, I feel like it's bad. Because for example, this boss, you have all this shit flying at you on the screen, and you basically have to look everywhere in order to not get hit, because you have these leeches that constantly spawn and are aimed at you. You have those attacks where he bites you, that you have to be paying attention to the flashes. And you have a lot of attacks that if you don't know that they are there, they are literally impossible to dodge. At least by a human, I mean. Like for example this one. That attack, if you don't know it's there and you don't know that when he starts vibrating, that attack is the one that comes, it's just impossible to react to. That kind of difficulty, I feel like it's personally bullshit. It reminds me of Clompi's second Spellcar, right? I think Star and Stripes or whatever it's called. That Spellcar is so bullshit because there is no way to dodge shit without knowing that that's there. So that reminds me of that. So overall, it's not like... I wouldn't say that... Oh fuck, I screwed that up. I wouldn't say it's bad, it's just... I will say that it's not for me. Let's say that. I feel like that's what I probably should say. I know that there's a lot of people that are incredibly good at platforming games, right? So things like this game are pretty much nothing, or at least, you know, fairly easy. But to me, this game is insanely hard, at least on this difficulty. The impossible RNG is the worst difficulty, and insta-give attacks like you say are second. Well, this game also has a lot of RNG. This boss doesn't have that much. I mean, yes, it obviously has RNG because the attacks that he does are random, right? Like, he attacks on whatever attack he wants to do. But the RNG is not determinant for the fight, right? Like, even if the RNG wasn't there, the fight will probably still be as hard as it is. But in previous boss fights on this game, I gotta tell you that the RNG was incredibly important. Mostly because of the combinations of attacks, right? Like, there are some combinations of attacks in some of the previous boss fights that could basically screw you over so much that it was just almost impossible to dodge if you had a specific... Oh, I fucked up. Oh, I'm still alive somehow. Oh fuck. Damn, and then I think I died the same way as yesterday. That part, basically the momentum, like the momentum of the character is the same as, you know, the dash. So it's pretty hard to land on the platform without falling. It's kind of like it suddenly shifts momentum, and it's a little bit hard, but I guess I gotta get used to it. Impossible RNG, I mean RNG that walls you without any chance of dodging. A person like RNG than most anyway, as long as it's fair. Yeah, I think there... I'm not entirely sure. Actually, yes, I am sure. There was a boss that was called the Dark Annihilator that I mentioned already, that had some attacks at the last phase that I'm not sure, because I didn't obviously study it hard enough. I'm pretty sure that they are literally impossible to dodge if you get bad RNG, because at the end of the fight you get like a wall, like basically the fight is this giant boss following you, and at some point the stage ends and there is a wall, And there are some attacks of the boss that bounce in the wall, making it, I'm pretty sure, impossible to dodge. Or at least really close to impossible. So I think, yeah, in that case you could say that this has impossible RNG, although obviously that section is avoidable if you kill him fast enough. Problem is that killing him fast enough is harder than trying to get good RNG. So yeah. I mean, this game has a bit of everything for sure. Thankfully, this boss right here is more based around hard patterns than based around RNG. Like, the RNG of this boss is not lethal at all. Like, it just affects the order of the attacks, but it doesn't affect the difficulty of the attacks. Oh, nice. Oh, come on, dude. Okay, that was horseshit. What was I supposed to do there? Jump? Like, I waited on purpose because I thought that if I jumped I will be left behind. I guess not. Damn, and that was such a good run because I barely got hit. I really don't know. Patiently waiting for your friend. Is that what I gotta do? Patiently wait for this Cerberus to chug me. Also, how is it going? Yummy. I can see how that will be bad. My recent grind that I mentioned was actually full of RNG walls. I really dislike walls now. Yeah. I mean, when you get like literally cornered, there are not many things that the boss or whatever you're fighting can shoot without making the pattern impossible. Because at some point you obviously run out of space, right? So yeah, there's not much you can really do. But yeah, in any case, it was just my bad for picking demon mode. If I hadn't picked demon mode, I probably wouldn't even complain. But yeah, demon mode, it feels like this game was clearly balanced for mortal mode, and when it came to demon mode, they just were like, you know what, fuck it, let's make everything harder and let's not even test it. It probably did not happen like that, but it feels like it was like that. Oh, that's the wrong one, man. Why did I not react to that properly? I'm so dumb. Okay, so what the fuck? Oh, I see. So you gotta go to the left platform. Okay. Oh, and we have this horseshit again. Oh, more rocks? Damn. It seems like it's literally the same as the first one. It really feels like it, right? The walls were there because the hitboxes were way too big for precise bullet hell like that. Let's see. Is there any equipment that does anything in this game? No, the equipment here is purely cosmetic, right? So for example, you have... Actually, let me show you something. You can use companions here, right? Look at this. You have none other than Boshi for a companion, and obviously, well, you can customize your character however you like, right? I personally like the glasses and, you know, the human looking outfit, but, you know, yeah. And the good thing about this Boshi companion is that every time you die, well, you will see what happens. it's gonna have, yeah. Basically, you have the same curses as Boshi, and that's the reason why I don't use it, because otherwise, I mean, I already get really salty with the fight itself, so let's, you know, try to decrease the saltiness as much as I can. Wonder if Sovereign beat his own games? That will be good to know. That's also something that I'm curious about soon, right? You have the killer cursor? I don't think you have. That will be a good thing to try, but I don't think that's the case. Because that will mean implementing the cursor in the game, and that will probably take a lot of time. That will be, I guess, wasted for just a gimmick. Wow, twice in a row. Damn, and I get fucked up. So let me see. So if I pick Boshi and I put the cursor, let's see. Damn it, get out. No, neither of them die. Yeah, I mean, that will, I think that will be a lot of work for, you know, such a small gimmick, right? How is salt level? We're fine. Like, my salt levels still have not, you know, reached critical levels, because I know that this boss is gonna take a while, so overall, I mean, I obviously am a little bit frustrated about it, but not that much. I mean, I don't think it's gonna take more than Amethyst, or at least I hope it doesn't take more than Amethyst, because that will suck. If it does take more than Amethyst, then yeah, my salt levels are gonna rise there. Oh, I didn't know he was gonna go for that. I heard Sovereign got stuck on the final boss in Boshi and never beat it, but I don't know if it's true. That will be pretty interesting. What does Boshi do again? Basically, Boshi says it's Boshi time every time you spawn, and every time you die he curses, right? Like he says damn it, or, you know, all of that he says in Boshi when you die. Will be only a couple of lines of code. Yeah, but you gotta understand that those kind of things, usually they are only a couple of lines of codes, but they can cause some pretty nasty bugs, right? Because you, like that kind of stuff, it might be easy to implement, but then you have to test all the weird stuff that can spawn from that. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of weird stuff can spawn from that. So yeah, I will say that it's better for him not to. Oh wait, and I'm getting shot. I didn't even see that. But yeah, basically, I think it will be an unnecessary risk. I mean, after all, this game, according to Yami, which played it at launch, this game was incredibly bugged at launch. So adding something like that will probably make the whole thing worse. You only need to check if the cursor collides with the player when you have Boshi as companion. Yeah, but you know, I mean, I know that it sounds easy, but you gotta probably think about what that can mean, because let's say that, I mean, a lot of games have a lot of stuff that shouldn't be there, but it's there because it doesn't cause any problem, right? So let's say that, for example, your active companion doesn't get assigned when you choose it in the menu, but it gets assigned only when you spawn or something like that, right? Like, if it has some weird stuff like that, you have to double check everything. Because, I mean, saying it like that assumes that the game is, like, the code of the game is well done, right? And that might be true, but that might also not be true. So yes, if the code of the game is well done, it will be as easy as making your cursor check the collision with the player when Bosch is active as a companion, right? Now, if, you know, determining who the active companion is not that well done, I mean, it can cause more trouble than anything. I promise myself I know that I could do it easily, I shouldn't cause problems. Obviously, if your code is badly done, it can lead... Yeah, exactly, if your code is badly done, you can choose, like, do disasters with that. And again, a lot of games that are usually, you know, known as really good games are full of shit like that you ask yourself, like, wow, why did they go for that? I think the biggest example is Pokemon Red on the Game Boy, right? Like, that game is amazing, right? Basically spawned a series of games that is the most profitable franchise nowadays. But that game, programming wise, is pretty badly done, although it has an excuse, at least, the fact that they didn't have enough memory to put in a cartridge. So they kinda have an excuse for that. But even then, it's not like we can just say that it was well done, right? Because it definitely was not. But you know, it kinda works. I mean, most people that do a normal playthrough, normally they don't encounter any of those bugs. So, on that regard, it's well done, but yeah. It's pretty badly coded. Again, that game at least has an excuse, but you know, a lot of games don't have that excuse, especially in current age where memory has stopped being a problem. Yeah, what a game, right? Pokemon Red was a really nice game indeed. Damn it. Look into a count of some popular games and there's definitely questionable things in a lot of them. Although in the end, as long as it's not completely broken, a normal player only cares what the game is like in regards to his experience. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much how it is. It's just that, like for example here, if you try to add a mechanic like that in a game that is pretty badly done, you're probably gonna encounter some big problems, right? So yeah, I feel like, I mean, if I was Solgreen, I definitely would think that it will not be worth it to implement a cursor mechanic just for a companion. Although if I was Solgreen, I also wouldn't do the bullshit that he did on this demon mode. But you know, whatever. So how the fuck do I do this without falling? Okay, like that. Oh, fuck. He starts attacking even before I can get to the normal platforms. Damn, what an asshole. Few forces in nature could make me go near the code base of a typical game. Yeah, honestly... yeah. There's no need to be so purist. Well, I mean, it's not about being purist, it's just that if the code of a game is badly done, adding new mechanics like a cursor collision detector will probably be a mess. But you know, as long as the player doesn't encounter, you know, pretty bad bugs, it's not a problem, right? Was made in Click Team Fusion? What's that? Well, it seems like that's a good way to dodge that attack, so... I shouldn't jump, in fact. I should stay on that platform. Pick the feather and then dash. Is the game Enshine? I never heard of it. Was it made by Solgreen, or... you know, was it actually already existent? I'm using Flutter, what the hell? Why is it not registering my Flutter? Alright, sure, why not? Unfortunate. But in any case, yeah, this game is pretty hard. Just in case you need any more confirmation, yeah, the game is indeed pretty hard. But you know, that's fine. It's not like it's the hardest thing I've done or anything like that. Well, maybe... I mean, no, there's still PDH, so... Still, at least it's not PDH, right? Should always be glad about that. Oh, fucker. Oh no. Oh, I already used a jump. Oh, it worked. Okay. Sure. I'll take it. If you don't mind. Damn, it's so awkward to look at this asshole on the right side. It's pretty hard to concentrate after being so used to looking at the left side. Honestly, someone has played the Game Maker, but it makes sense for Solgreen since he also made Boshi in Multimedia Fusion. I see. Do you think you will beat PDH? No. I honestly don't think I will beat PDH unless I get so lucky that I don't get wall at the bottom of the screen. If I get so lucky that I never get wall at the bottom of the screen, then yes, I obviously can do it. But that's like saying, are you gonna win the lottery? Well, I mean, technically, if I get lucky enough, yes. Am I gonna get lucky enough to win the lottery? Probably not. Okay. Damn, it really is hard to see. I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that I'm so used to looking at him to the left side, but it's so hard to react to the attacks. I believe you can get consistent at it with enough practice. Whether or not you want to do that just depends on if you like it enough. Yeah, I definitely don't like it enough to practice at all. Like, I may do, like, you know, as I usually do, like a PDH stream like once every blue moon or something like that. But yeah, I really don't think I'm gonna be actively practicing at all, because it's just so time consuming and so boring. I mean, the only good thing about PDH is Shunko's theme that he's constantly playing in the background, but that's pretty much it. I really like that I can use that strat to dodge that. Okay. Tim. Wait, are the platforms shorter? So those are two big rocks on the texture. Okay. Let's see if they are shorter or not. Maybe not. No, they actually are not. They are the same size. Oh. Then I guess it's a pretty big illusion. Like a pretty big, I mean... visual illusion, right? The fact that it looks like it's harder, but it's literally the same shit, just flipped to the left. That's pretty weird. It looks really different, but it's the same. Seems that mirroring a boss really makes an amazing difference, huh? PDH at 125 speed is still the hardest thing I have done. Normal speed PDH is still among the hardest attack. Yeah, it's just really hard. It is indeed really hard. Also, you say you didn't play this game, right? Because knowing you, or at least knowing the games you like playing, you definitely should try this one. Well, although I guess that depends on if you like the way the hitbox is and all of that, but... Nope, I see. But yeah, I feel like it's a really good game for you. I mean, after all, there is a lot of hard things in this game. I mean, I don't think it will match PDH, but... Also, let me try this weapon. Maybe I can hit him with this. Maybe not, probably not. But might as well try, right? Recently no hit bosses in Undertale and did more Celeste Golden Berries. Also got no miss, no bomb, or no true last bosses in the Donpachi Resurrection except Satsusa, which I might get if I can somehow skip to it. I see. Damn, no miss, no bomb. Holy shit. Good stuff. Yeah, basically Satsusa, I don't think there is any possibility of skipping to him. Like, the only thing you could do is finding the, you know, the arcade ROM, playing it on Mame, trying to get to Satsusa somehow. And once you get to Satsusa, you save state. Or you could just look for a save state online, though I don't think you're gonna be lucky to find it, because something that is already pretty obscure. I mean, if you Google Satsusa, not many results come up, so I don't know if that will be that easy to find. Oh, what? The hell was that? Timid. Can always hack the game. Those save states are a good idea too. Full run is just too long to do along with no miss, no bomb of the true last boss. Yeah, but what I mean that you can do is just do the full run. Well, I mean, when I say just, I don't mean that it's easy, but you can do the run to get to Satsusa, and once you get to Satsusa, you save state. And then after that you should keep reloading until you eventually get a no miss, no bomb. Although getting to Satsusa is really hard, because I think you need to only die once, bomb no more than twice. Actually no, I think you can even bomb. I don't remember the Satsusa requirements actually. I think the Satsusa requirements are actually no miss and only use one bomb. And get red meter on every boss. Something like that. It's pretty hard to get. Like really, really hard to get. Oh, I fucked up. Damn it. Plus, while Black Label Hibachi is kind of a shock compared to 1.5, Satsusa is a bit harder, although it's still easier than 1.5 Hibachi looks like. I don't know if that's the case. I feel like Satsusa is like way harder than Hibachi on 1.5. Although I obviously can't speak from experience because I will never get to them. But you know. When I say them, I mean Satsusa, not... I mean, I already got to Hibachi just by going to practice more, right? But Satsusa... I've seen Satsusa and it really does not look easy at all. Or when I say easy, I mean doesn't look easier than Hibachi. 1.5 Hibachi is very hard to no miss, no bomb. Satsusa you can hyper cancel the final. Oh, that's right, because yeah, Black Label has hyper cancel. I forgot about that. I forgot about the hyper cancel. Okay. That's fine. Damn it. That didn't hit me. Come on now. Satsusa will be harder to dodge without the hypers, but Black Label hypers are OP. So 1.5 Hibachi ends up being the hardest since you need to survive for a long time in the final attack, even if it has the easiest version of it. I see. Yeah, like the final attack of Hibachi is incredibly fucked up. I mean, my brain cannot even comprehend how to dodge shit. So yeah, it's a pretty wild attack for sure. Damn it. Damn it. God damn it. At least it seems that this second phase is pretty easy compared to the horizontal phases. Also, it seems that this weapon is useless, so like it doesn't change shit. But yeah, because of a range 8 Hibachi is basically an extremely buff Satsusa with no slowdown at all. which can only be no miss or even beaten thanks to constant hyper spam and bullet cancelling in that mode. Damn. Although because of the mechanics 1.5 Hibachi is the hardest again. I'll say Hibak, no miss, no one miss, second hardest or hardest actually, since you need to be almost perfect. Damn. Yeah, I see. Oh, I mean, I know that regardless of the boss, I definitely will not be able to do that, but yeah. Feels like an interesting experience. Nice. Damn, sometimes that's too rough. Like that fall, like it doesn't give you time to do shit. You could do at least Black Label Hibachi, since that one has save spots for half the attacks and the final is easier than Setsusa and can be hyper cancel. I guess I could try that at some point though. I really can't promise anything. Damn it. What a shithead. Yeah, but I definitely wouldn't do wouldn't practice them at all. I mean, if I don't even practice PDH, I'm definitely not gonna practice those bosses. It's just, even if, you know, according to you it's easier than PDH, I don't think. Gabi can beat all bosses. Are you saying that I can beat Mr. Port? You're being a little bit violent right here, don't you think? Hey, it's alright. Don't worry about it. I must warn you that Arrange A Hibachi and 1.5 Hibachi are very taxing. Arrange A is just stupid and 1.5 Hibachi is very hard to dodge. Yeah, it seems like it's something that will indeed be pretty hard. Damn, Mr. Aldo is here, huh? Well, I don't even need to greet him, he already did it himself, so yeah. Well, in any case, yeah, I'm getting fucked. Which is not a surprise, but you know, just so you know. 5 Hibachi final attack is one of the hardest attacks I ever done. That hit me, alright. That's bullshit. Alright. And the reason why I say that's bullshit is not because it didn't look like it hit me. It's bullshit because the stone should have delayed it more than enough for me to not get hit. Damn it. It's only Mr. Tusk, but I call him Mr. Aldo as well, so I think it just goes both ways, right? Ah, fuck. Oh wow, that hitbox is just bullshit. Come on, it hit me. It hit me like the tip of the tail, and it wasn't even like, I wouldn't even say that it was the sprite, the one that hit me. It was just straight up the hitbox. And when I say the hitbox, I mean a hitbox that isn't even aligned perfectly with the sprite. That's horseshit. As far as PDH goes, I'll say 125 speed PDH is harder than that since you have slowdown in that attack. Yeah, that's right. In Touhou there is no slowdown. Well, I mean, aside of the slowdown that it gives to your brain after playing it for too long. I can speak for experience, right? Ever since I started playing Touhou, my brain has rotten a lot. But then again, that's fine. Who needs a non-rotten brain anyways? It's not like I use it too much, so... But yeah, PDH is something else. Probably do the other cave games too. You can try Dead Smiles. Dead Smiles is a pretty interesting game because it's very far from being traditional, right? Not only because of horizontal scrolling, but also because a lot of the mechanics and the way the levels work in that game are something that you usually don't see in a Danmaku game, right? So yeah, I guess Dead Smiles is something that you can also try. And the game is pretty hard as well, so... yeah. Oh, did I jump too high? Smile seems interesting. So want to do Mushihime-sama? Yeah. Well, Mushihime-sama, apparently the final attack of the true final boss on the normal mode is so hard that a lot of people say it's the hardest, or at least like the top 5 hardest attacks in cave history, right? Go to try Larsa in Futari. Yeah, I also would like to try Futari. If only Cave actually brought it to Steam. But no, they don't do it. For some reason. Oh, that's... yeah, it's just gonna be insanely hard to get used to that attack. I think I will try an emulator, probably try to play Saida Yosho with that as well. Maybe, well, I don't know how good Xbox 360 emulation is, but maybe you can try to emulate the Dodonpachi Maximum, which is the Saida Yosho port of the 360 that probably also has training mode and all of that. I don't think it will have training mode for Inbachi, but it probably will have for Hibachi. So yeah, there is that. It probably will have extra modes as well, so... oh, there is training mode for Inbachi DM. And why the hell don't they bring that game to Steam? Like, don't they like money or what? Well, I mean, again, as I say, it's probably not popular enough to guarantee a profit if they release it on Steam, but I don't think they will need to change much at all. So somebody beat Ymbachi in training mode at rank 6 and Autobomb. Oh, I mean rank 0. And that's also pretty fucked up because apparently in the normal game, if you get to Ymbachi, you have to fight her at a pretty high rank, right? So otherwise I don't think you can even get there in the first place. Timid. See what I mean with the hitbox in this game? Like, the hitbox in this game are a lot bigger than it have any right to be. Like, with how hard the attacks are, why would you make the hitbox so big? Whatever. I mean, complaining about that is like complaining about bad smell when you're right next to a trash bin, right? Like, no shit. Team. What is it that makes it so hard there? Oh, rank 50. Reminds me of that one horrible astral attack in Undertale that I recently did. Which one? Because as far as I know, isn't Flowey the hardest boss to no miss in Undertale? In fact, pretty close to impossible, right? Oh, the spam attack at the end. Yeah, I don't really remember it. Dodonpachi Daiyosho looks a lot better than I thought it would. It has the double hibachi and the original washing machine pattern. Nice. Yeah, I know it has double hibachi, right? Flowey will be the hardest if it wasn't for that one attack of Azriel. That one attack is far worse than the entire rest of the fight. I see. Yeah, I really don't remember. It's been a while since I played Undertale after all. And I definitely did not try to dodge it, so... Oh, that's gonna kill. Yep. It is. It's 99% impossible most of the time because it's too precise for huge hitboxes, otherwise it will be the hardest attack, but at least fair if, say, it had 1 pixel hitboxes. I see. Probably has so many impossible attack transition too, which is just horrible. Yeah, like Flowey has that like save state attack where he just completely reloads and it throws you off because it's really hard to like even know. It's hard to even know what he's gonna rewind to, right? So level is increasing. Kinda, I guess you can say that. Damn it. feel like in a lot of places these platforms are screwing me over. Like I'm falling where I shouldn't be falling. Damn it. Wow. Did I have an additional jump? I mean, I guess I did. I feel like I have way less space to dodge on that section. On that third section. That's actually the easiest attack. Damn. Oh, you know, hit both of those bosses. I see. Good stuff. Hardest attack is the nuke, because it transitions impossible into air attacks a lot of the time since you need to be on top of the screen. Or attack transitions are also impossible, and even the attacks themselves are sometimes just randomly impossible. I see. Yeah, it must be a pain to try to no-hit those bosses, that's for sure. I mean, it's already a pain to do something like this that isn't even remotely as hard as what you're describing, so yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah, that was a pretty fast transition. I don't get it. Hey, Yummy, can you confirm that this boss on the third section is actually the first than the first one? Because I definitely feel like it's harder, but it doesn't look like it has anything different. But for some reason I'm getting completely obliterated. Maybe the boss is actually closer, or something like that. Sans is actually going to be a good fight. I mean, Sans is a fun fight. It's even a fun fight you're now going for no miss, right? For now I'm taking a break from Undertale as that one Astral attack made me want to quit forever. Yeah, I can see that. My guess is just being bad. Yeah, that's also my guess. Guess I should get a get good. That scene is going to be a break and not even hard compared to those. Yeah, I know. Damn, once you're up there you can dodge the leeches by jumping. Damn it. Even if it's hard, I know it will always be my fault, I see. How did Lennon go? I did a couple of no bombs. I did basically normal no bomb on the first game. I did also extra no bomb on the first game. On the second one, I don't remember if I did normal or hard no bomb. I think I did normal. And then I did the extra also with no bomb. Then on Lenin 3... wait, no. Lenin 2 is the one that I did normal no bomb. Lenin 3 I don't remember if I did normal or hard. I think I did normal. And then I did also an extra no bomb. For 4 I also did a normal no bomb, though I used quite some upgrades, so I don't know if that counts that much. Oh shit. Damn it. I just can't stop getting fucked by this third section. It counts if it's in the game. Yeah, but it's obviously not as impressive. Because there are a lot of upgrades that are incredibly broken. So it's kinda like... It technically is a normal no bomb, but it's kinda like... I mean, it's kinda like playing Touhou 10 with the bugged Marisa shot type that can basically kill patterns in less than 2 seconds and be like, oh, I did a lunatic no bomb. Well, yeah, I mean, I can also do a lunatic no bomb if I use that broken shot type. And when I say broken, I mean literally broken. Like bugged. You know, it's fine. Never thought about this, it wasn't in the original game, but you can switch to mirror mode without starting a new game. Well, I mean, that will probably work, but I wouldn't feel good about that. I wouldn't feel good about changing the way it's intended to fight. Although I guess I could... I mean, if I get fucked a lot, which is probably gonna happen, then I guess I can do it. But you know, it still hasn't happened, so... Maybe on the next stream when I actually... like... 9 hours pass and I still haven't beaten him, I probably can attempt that. But for now I wanna focus on, like... the intended way, right? Damn it. So mirror mode just change left and right. Yeah, well, that will be interesting because maybe mirror mode will also switch your input. So if it switches your input, it basically means that, you know, it will actually be harder. So I will have to get used to... Well, I guess I could change the controls as well, but... that's too much work. Oh, fuck. If it switches your input, that's fucking stupid. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Remember before I knew mirror mode was a thing on my first Boshi playthrough, it somehow got turned on, so the game glitched and eventually deleted and gave up on that first playthrough. Well, because it is enabled on default. For some stupid reason Boshi has the mirror mode enabled by default. I don't get why, but it is true. It's not like it was just you, it also happened to me. So for some reason, apparently the intended way to play Boshi is mirror mode. Unless I'm missing something. Damn it. It wasn't in my case, it turned on after I got to Ward 3. Oh! I see. Interesting. Fuck. It was very easy to accidentally change the setting in that game. Yeah, I think I also experienced that. Reminds of how many times I've gotten soft lucky and I wanna be the guy fanning it because of bad alliance or other bad design. Yeah, and also things like getting stuck in between saves and stuff like that. Yeah, that also can happen. Although it never happened to me, thankfully. But yeah, I know that it can definitely happen. Ah, that was too low. I know a few things, so I can just cheat to fix it, but it's still very stupid. Yeah, cheating to fix a bug, it's pretty stupid. I mean, it's pretty stupid on the game side. I don't mean that it's stupid to do it, right? Damn it. The good thing is that I'm consistently getting to the third phase. Well, I don't know if I should say consistently, but I'm getting there. Problem is that I'm instantly dying on the third phase, so that doesn't really help that much. That was bullshit. That was really bullshit. I mean, the hitbox of those leeches is bullshit. I mean, combined with the hitbox of the character is bullshit. Damn it. Oh, come on. Recently I got soft love in a very hard needle game because of bad apple align. No way I was going to start the entire long game that has some very annoying saves. Yeah, I know, right? Hitbox bullshit is some of the worst bullshit I know. Danmaku player infuriated by hitbox that matches his pride. That's accurate. That's pretty accurate. No, he's talking. Yeah, I guess it can be both if you want. Although Thundit is more of a platformer player. Though he's getting into Danmaku a lot lately. So you can call him both. I mean, he's a better Danmaku player than me, so I guess that's probably enough to call him a Danmaku player, right? But yeah, I guess, I mean, the real problem is that the fact that the hitbox matches the sprite is not a problem. The problem is that you fill the screen with bullshit like this, and then you expect me to be able to dodge that with my big ass hitbox, with also big ass hitbox on the attack. So it's basically a big ass hitbox trying to dodge other big ass hitboxes. Actually more of a Bullet Hill player. The reason why I started I wanna be the guy was Bullet Hill, since at the time I was only familiar with those. Love Bullet Hill more than anything else. Well, I thought it was because it was the opposite. I really got into I wanna be the guy platforming, which also recently got me into doing Celeste Golden Berries. I see. I dodged that, holy shit, alright. Sadly I'm gonna get hit by everything else, but it was a good start. Oh. Shit again. Damn, that went a lot lower than I expected. Although I guess if I mentalize myself that this is literally the same as the other one but reverse, it shouldn't be that hard. Although I wonder what the next phase is gonna be. Because the next phase can either be vertical going down, or it can be vertical going up. And if it's going up, it's basically an entirely new phase. So let's see what happens. Eventually I learned about actual bullet hills and starting playing a lot of those as well. I see. Touhou 15 was actually my first actual bullet hell game. Although I wanna be the game avoidances which are bullet hell in nature. I see. Interesting. But then wait. That's what I don't understand. You say you got into Touhou 15 because of I wanna be the guy, but then you're saying, and you're also saying that Touhou 15 is your first actual bullet hell game. But you also say that bullet hells got you into I wanna be the guy. Or am I misunderstanding something there? Oh, you play the avoidances, I see. I gotcha. Yeah. I guess you can call those bullet hell as well. Although they have obviously meets platforming, but yeah. Like the look of Avoidance, I didn't even know anything about Bullet Hell. Oh, I see. Yeah, basically Bullet Hell games are pretty good. If you have patience, that is. But yeah, if you have patience to play them, they are pretty good indeed. Especially when they have such good characters and music like Touhou does. Touhou is such an amazing series. It seems like the high attack, he does it really low. Or maybe it's just me that I'm not used to this position of the screen, but it seems like he does it really low. Touhou is great, but I've really been liking both Touhou and K games recently. I also always wanted to try Bullet Heaven. What's Bullet Heaven? Like, my brain is telling me that I know what Bullet Heaven is, but I have no idea what it actually is. So I guess my brain is either lying or... Oh, it's a Western indie Bullet Hell game, I see. Hey Mage, how is it going? Yeah, as you can see, I haven't made that much progress in this boss, though. Oh no, that's not the case. I did some progress. It's just that obviously I gotta keep trying, right? As always. Oh, that hit me. Damn, that camera switch completely fucked me up. Bullet Heaven 2 is a shoot 'em up spin-off, the epic battle fantasy series. I'll actually recommend you try it. Seems like it has a unique feel to it. I also been recommended Crimson Clover, I think, which seems to be similar to that. I guess I could try both of them at some point. I mean, it sounds otherwise fine. What did you do? Did you do some exercise or? I definitely cannot relate to exercise, but you know. Ouch. Nice. Noise. You can actually hit him while the transition occurs, it seems. Which I guess it makes sense, because otherwise it will be a little bit busted. Hear of that game too. I think I saw the true last boss of that somewhere. I don't know. Try some Windows V today and got past the first area. The controls feel weird. Nice. Oh, about the controls, make sure that you pay attention to which key or which button you assign flutter. So for example, my overlay here is basically I use cross for jump, square to shoot, L1 for the flutter, which is like the little fly that she does with her wings, R1 to restart, and the D-pad to move. So make sure that you actually use the flutter in a place that you can use it at the same time that you use this too. And since I have like the claw grip for the gamepad, I basically grab the joystick like this. So by doing that, I can press the 3 buttons at the same time, anytime I want, right? So I recommend you do that. It makes it a lot easier. Mentally exhausted, about 4 or 5 hours of straight PUBG. Damn, straight PUBG, just like that. Damn. I use keyboard, but the flutter and Sean being separate messes with my brain. Yeah, that's the problem. Using keyboard for games that have more than 2 buttons, like buttons other than jumping and shooting, it's pretty hard. So I personally will recommend you to use a gamepad if you can. If you cannot, then I guess it's just a matter of getting used to the controls on keyboard. Ah, fuck. Damn it. Just missed that. It's amazing how much progress I make quickly after beating 5-2 in... Yeah, I mean, the other spellcards in Impossible Spellcard are not that hard when you compare it to a monster like that, right? I also wish I could bind slide to the same button as jump. Yeah, I also wish that. I mean, I'm used to the Mega Man games being the same button, so it feels kind of weird to use flutter to slide, but it is what it is. Like how you pronounce it, P-U-B... Wait, but how do you pronounce it? Isn't it like that? P-U-B-She? How do you pronounce it otherwise? Like, it's P-U-B-She, right? Or am I missing something? Plunkbat? What's Plunkbat? I think people pronounce it Pubshi? Oh, as in public, so PUBG. Okay, PUBG is how they pronounce it. But I mean, it's like an acronym, so wouldn't it make sense to pronounce it PUBG? Well, I guess it's kind of how I pronounce UFO as UFO, instead of pronouncing every letter. Yeah, pubic hair, I know. Plunkbat is what people used to call PUBG before it was called... Oh, I see. Plunkbat? Why would they call it like that, though? Or maybe that's what the beta was called, or something like that. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I feel like PUBG is an interesting game, but... You know, I'm bad at shooters, so... I can't get into it. It's just too hard for me. Oh, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Plunkbat. Plunkbat. That's an interesting way to pronounce it, I gotta say. I don't know why they picked those specific letters, but sure. Well, I mean, I guess if they say that PUB it could be confused as, you know, something else, right? Oh, you piece of shit. Some things are instant kills will lower though damage to health. Not many things are insta-kill. The thing about this game is that you can reset. So for example here, I can just reset. And it looks like an instant death, but I'm just resetting when I know that I have no chance to survive. Insta-deaths are usually just reserved for spikes. Spikes are usually the only thing in this game that can insta-death. Well, that and some special lasers, right? But for the most part, the boss attacks are not insta-kills ever. Instant reset are always great. Yeah, they are pretty good. I mean, they really save a lot of time. But obviously, considering that Solgreen made Boshi, I think it was a must to have, you know, the reset button. Tough fucker. Also, I don't know why I can even damage these leeches. It's not like they die. Unless they die with a few hits, that I never am able to do, because they suck. When I say they suck, I mean both figuratively and literally, because they are leeches. Of course they suck. Alright. Nice. Damn it. Oh, yeah, it seems like it is shorter. I mean lower, right? Like the top attack seems to be lower in this third phase. That's gonna make it really hard to dodge. Because it basically means that you need to be standing at the lower platform, or else you just die. I think the reason why it's lower is because the head right there is a different one. So the sprite kinda changes, and the sprite changing means that the hitbox changes as well. Perhaps not a good example, but the Astral boss has 5-8 minutes of forced cutscenes. Obviously that was not meant to be hard, so it's a bit understandable. Though instant reset will be good in a lot of hard games that I play that have too much waiting time. Yeah. Yeah, it's always nice to have. I mean, it's an option, right? Like, if someone doesn't like instant resets, they can just opt to not use them. But yeah, it's always nice to have options. It's also nice to be able to beat this boss. That will be really nice as well. Damn it. Getting hit by it. Holy shit, I'm getting hit by everything. Alright. Stop. Stop getting hit by everything. Like, I literally got hit by 3 attacks in less than, what, 3 seconds? Like, 1 attack per second. I don't get how that hit me. Like, I should watch the replay in slow motion, but I'm pretty sure that shouldn't have hit me. I mean, if I watch it in slow motion, the 2 sprites probably collide, but it doesn't look like they do. How will you compare this game to Boshi? To me it's way harder and way more frustrating than Boshi. And it doesn't help that it doesn't obviously have the charm of Boshi because, you know, as I said before, the music in this game sucks, and the design of the enemies is not like it's bad, but it's just generic, right? I look at these leeches. Like, if you saw these leeches somewhere else, you will probably not think to yourself, oh, these are the leeches from Wings of B. It will be just like a generic looking leech sprite that can be reused anywhere else, right? So honestly, it's harder than Boshi and also not as fun as Boshi to me. But you know, whatever. We are already here, so nothing I can do other than try to beat it. Oh, I didn't even see him hitting the... You should watch the replay, it could also help learning something about the fight. Yeah, maybe I could do that later, but I mean, I already know how to dodge the patterns. It's just that it's obviously hard. It doesn't help that these random ass leeches that you see flying around the screen, like not the ones that he fires, but the ones that randomly spawn on the sides, those leeches are trash. Damn it. But yeah, like at this point, this is the same thing that happened with the previous boss that was called Amethyst. Amethyst was a boss that I already understood how to beat, like from a pretty early stage, right? The problem is actually doing it. That's the hard part. Understanding it, sometimes it's also hard. In this case, I don't think understanding the fight is hard. It's just that you need to be able to do it. Which I'm clearly struggling doing. And according to Yami, this fight is harder than what it initially was. Like, apparently this fight at the beginning, well, not only was bugged, but it was also easier. Like, according to Yami, this fight was a complete choke compared to other boss fights, to previous boss fights, right? So the fact that it's harder than it initially should have been, maybe is the reason why I'm struggling this bad. Maybe it was never supposed to be this hard. In order to balance it out, they just decided to go nuts to the point where it's just insanely hard to beat. Oh, again with that horse shit. Are you kidding me? Just check and phone, no damage, all bosses demon mode, so it has to be someone consistent. Yeah, but I mean, that's not a good reference. I mean, if you look at Touhou 15, there's also someone who did Lunatic no miss, no bomb on legacy mode. That doesn't mean that it's gonna be easy to meet. Like, those kind of things should never be used as a comparison for, you know, for people that just casually play the game, right? Because, I mean, obviously there is someone that did that in every game, right? Or at least most of the games that exist. So I don't really think it's a fair comparison, right? But yeah, the most depressing part is knowing that this isn't even close to be the hardest thing that this game has to offer. According to a lot of people, the final boss of this game took them more than 15 hours to beat. So you can already tell. You can already tell that this shit is not even as hard as it can get. Not even close. Damn it, come on, that's... Again, I'm getting killed by that same attack. I wasn't getting killed like that at the beginning of the stream. You know, if you just practice and understand the attacks, I believe you can do it. Yeah, but... Again, it's not a matter of being able or not to do it. Like, I'm sure that I can defeat this boss. The difference is if I can beat it in a reasonable amount of time. Because if I can't beat it in a reasonable amount of time, as I always say, might as well just give up and play something else. Right? Because obviously it is doable and I can get consistent enough if I play it enough. You know, I might just decide to stop at some point if I feel like it's too hard. I mean, I almost did that with Amethyst, and the only reason why I did not do it is because I literally defeated her at the like close to the end of the stream that I say that I was gonna stop playing if I didn't beat it there. So basically I beat her just in time for me to keep playing the game. But otherwise I would have stopped if I hadn't beat her there. And with this boss, something similar might happen for sure. Because it's proving to be just as hard. Like really, it's proving to be a pain in the ass. Why did that rock should have hit him? Like I saw the rock go right through the head and I didn't see any damage. So unless I'm blind, that was horseshit. You can't hit me like that, dude. Platforming hitboxes in bosses are getting to you. I mean, the hitboxes in general are getting to me. Like, if you're gonna have these ridiculous hitboxes, at least make them ridiculous everywhere. So if you're not gonna make them ridiculous when it's advantaging to me, then fuck you, pretty much. I'm talking about the game, by the way. I'm not talking about anyone in chat. Because you're making the hitboxes that attack me incredibly big and precise. But these rocks that do damage, they are a joke. Like sometimes the sprite is clearly hitting the head and it won't do shit. So basically for that, the only thing that I have to say to this game is fuck you, really. There isn't really anything else I can say to that. Wow, I got insanely lucky right there. I dodged that by accident. Very proud of the fights that the leeches slowly dig into the walls. Yeah. Solgrim knows how to make people salty. Yeah, he definitely knows. Although what he doesn't know is how to make a game that is as popular as Boshi. Pretty ironic, right? Because, I mean, being completely honest, when it comes to mainstream, right? Who gives a shit about this game? No one, right? So, in all honesty, yeah, he might know how to make people salty, but he definitely doesn't know how to copy the success that Boshi has. So yeah. I mean, in fact, I wouldn't give a shit about this game if it wasn't for Boshi. The only reason why I'm playing this is because I like Boshi and it's made by the same person. So basically, yeah, fuck this. Should just make Boshi 2 with even more reference. So then he wouldn't, yeah, he pretty much couldn't sell the game. Yeah, he's working in a platforming called RAO, I think. Or ROA, something along those lines. And I think it's gonna release on November of this year. That's the reason, like that's also another reason why I'm playing this game right now. Because I wanna be able to beat this before that game releases. Although obviously if I can beat this, I'm not gonna play that, so... just saying. think a lot of people like Wings of V. Yeah, a lot of people like Wings of V because they did not play it on Demon mode. That's for sure. Someone actually tries Demon mode for the first time, they are probably gonna have the same thoughts that I have. I know, you can say, well, that's your bad. You are the one that choose playing on Demon mode, so why are you blaming the game? But I mean, I feel like it just shouldn't be this bullshit, that's it. So, you know, people I know who play Demon mode. Yeah, I know, but again, it's just a matter of the fact that obviously not many people just care about this game. And that also not only goes for the fact that it's really hard or anything like that. As I said before, the music is trash, the enemy design is painfully generic, and I'm not really seeing also any... Like, I don't feel like this game has an identity, right? Like, when I see this game, I get reminded of a lot of games. But it's not like I can, like, say right away, oh, Wings of V, right? Like, it doesn't have shit to make it iconic. I mean, even V, like V, you can dress her as like whatever you like, right? She doesn't even have a main design, and the main design, which is the default one, right? She's also just a generic angel. Like, doesn't help that the name is pretty, you know, short and really doesn't have much personality to it either. But you know, whatever. Who cares about that anyways? Oh, come on. Fuck. Might need something more unique in it. Yeah, I do agree. Well, you know, that's fine. I mean, things like that are not that important for people that just care about the gameplay like me. But it will really, like, all these bosses will greatly improve if the music wasn't this generic whatever it's supposed to be, right? So it's not that important, but you know, it will make the whole experience a little bit better. Aw, damn it. Fuck. Fuck again. Damn it. I consider raw, but I think I will skip it due to too much waifu focus. I really don't mind the fact that, well, I mean, the characters are pretty much almost naked. I really don't mind that. But, you know, I'm curious about how the game is gonna feel. Although it really feels like the character design has a lot of furry appeal. which I'm not that much of a fan, but you know. What kind of game do you play then? Oh, you're asking Yummy. Okay. Thinking plays most important anyways, yeah. And my waifu games, but Raw seems to be a lot more waifu focused. Well, I mean, this game... Okay, let's do this, right? In this game you can do this. Just gonna showcase it. I know that you can avoid it completely, but you can do something like this. Wait for it. Like, if this is not... I think the one here that will be the most appropriate will probably be this one, or, well, the main one, right? I mean, just looking at that, again, I know that it's optional, but, you know, this one has a little bit of focus on that too. You also have whiskers, and if that wasn't enough, you also have cat ears. But you know, it's fine. I understand what you say. What was my... wait. The tail? Oh, I did not have a tail. Okay. Unrealistic, we're looking shyastic breeds, hips, and microscopic waists. It has it too, but it's a lot more tame. Yeah, I guess. Has got an interesting path. I feel like the most notable thing about Roa is the fact that, again, the characters might look like that, but it's also the fact that they have a lot of furry, you know, furry appeal, right? I did not know Solring was into that, but I guess. You find something new, you learn something new every day, right? After all. Getting mentally drained, I gotta say, but you know, it was to be expected from a boss fight like this, but damn, it's a lot more draining than... Well, I don't even know if I should say that it's more draining than I expected, because I expected this to be really draining. So yeah, it might not be accurate to say that, but holy shit, it is draining. Tough. For fuck's sake. I think everywhere I see Soren, I see his waifus as well. Well, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing at all, but you know. The only thing I care about is if the game is not as bullshit as Demon Mode here. And it's probably gonna be, so I don't have my hopes high at all. Ah, fuck. Followed him on Twitter at some point but couldn't take it because it was pretty much all waifus. Oh, so he's one of those. So he's one of those people that just make those kind of posts. I see. Interesting. Well, I mean, hope he at least beats his own game this time. Well, maybe that's the problem. Maybe he's trying to beat his own games too hard. So he needs a distraction, right? I guess. Damn, I got killed so fast. That's something that I also wonder about Soon. Because I know that Soon is a good Danmaku player, right? But I wonder if he, for example, did that Lunatic No Bomb achievement that Touhou 17 has. No, Lunatic No Miss, which is even worse. Soon beat PDH, yes, but I don't think that says much. Especially if he beat it after 2,000 attempts, apparently, right? So if that's the case, that doesn't really mean that much. But yeah, basically the Soon in Touhou 17 he put an achievement that you need to Lunatic No Miss the game, which is something that I will never be able to do. But I really wonder if he could do that. Well, I mean, I guess, otherwise how the fuck does he test that it works? Well, I guess he tested with the bug options. Shinse before PDH takes you over 10,000 times. Oh, don't worry. I mean, I'm gonna give up well before I get to 10,000. So don't worry about that. I'm definitely not going for 10,000 tries at all. Oh, damn it. Wasn't enough to reach the platform, huh? But yeah, what you said about why does he make things like this to torture other people, I mean, it seems like that's not a rare thing to say, right? Showing how this game has bug focus on both waifus and demons. Well, I could tell you probably why it has that duality, but I'd rather not say it. Yeah, you know, this combination is not as rare as you think, especially in the world of Doshin works. Let's just say that. Especially bosses like the plant one, the one that wars the underworld here. That combination is pretty common. That hit me. Why not go all the way and just make the demon waifus as well? Because that's not how it will work. Because that combination wouldn't work that well if that was the case. Well, I guess it could work depending on the design. You know, some people just prefer it to be as rough as possible. If you know what I mean. In any case. I don't know what the idea was, but I guess he just wanted to draw these big ass abominations. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure he doesn't even draw them. But, you know. Some of these things makes are certainly interesting. I think he only makes one sound, and that one. Like, he makes that roar where he attacks like that, and then the other roars I'm pretty sure are the same one. I think it's the same roar every time. Well, maybe not. Maybe it has like two different roars. Damn, that was pretty fast. Why was that so fast? I don't know. Oh, that was a too late for a shunt. That misdirection is so hard to do. Maybe I'm doing it really bad, but I don't know how else to do it. Also, that was horseshit. What is that distance between platforms? What the hell? It's pretty funny since he's doing the same thing over and over. Yeah. Certainly the attacks are incredibly hard for him to do the same thing over and over, and me still getting hit by all of this, right? That's the weird part. Well, it's not weird. I mean, the attacks are really hard. It seems like no matter how much I try to dodge them, I always get fucked. Seems like Sovereign's Twitch account has a bunch of waifus as well. And now you're making me curious. Although it might probably be like Osu players' Twitter accounts, right? Can anyone recommend me Touhou 9? I'm wondering if I should invest time into it, but it seems like such an out-of-place game. Touhou 9 is a Phantasmagoria kind of game, where it's basically the same as Touhou 3, well, with some differences, but pretty much it's a versus game. The thing about Touhou 9, and the reason why a lot of people don't like it and don't even count it as a one coin clear, is because everything about the game is random, right? Like, every single attack is random, every single pattern on fairies is random. When I say random, I mean that sure, they have a specific set, but they change all the time. It's not like when you play a traditional Touhou game that you have this section, then this section, and then this other section. It's Lennon 4 on steroids? No. It's not really Lennon 4 because the rules of the game are simple, right? Like, you basically shoot and dodge, and you have a charge power bar that lets you bomb. So the rules and what happens on screen is consistent, but the thing is, the attacks and the way that the enemy gets hit and the way that you win is completely random. Yeah, you fucked an AI, but I think that that's pretty much the less RNG part of the game, because the AI is just really something that completely dodges everything, and it has a timer, and every time that timer runs out, the AI purposely gets hit. So it's not that random in that case, but what is random is the fact that, for example, like, there are some fights where you can get walled, like completely surrounded with no escape, and that's because the enemy can be like fighting a really like advantage pattern for them, where they kill a lot of fairies really quickly and they keep spamming you attacks to the point where you can get the screen filled with bullets and it's impossible to defeat them. You fight an AI that dodges you, it dodges the bullets. It's like a split screen. It's a split screen where you fight on the left side and the CPU is on the right side, and both of you are gonna be attacked by fairies, but you also have your own boss attacks. So if you summon a boss attack on the CPU screen, there's gonna be the sprite of your character throwing spell cards, right? But obviously the CPU can do the same to you. So it's basically, you can compare it to a fighting game, I guess. Like if you play like Street Fighter arcade mode, anything that can happen there is pretty random. Like the enemy can do whatever shit he wants to, right? I mean, obviously you can bait them pretty easily, probably, but a lot of things are random. What about story lore value? The story of Touhou 9 is pretty shitty, to me at least, because it has no real incident. Because the incident is pretty much something that is out of your control, and that no matter what the heroines do, the incident just goes away after a while. So it's kinda, in that sense, it's kinda like Touhou 17, where you have no saying on the incident, except for the fact that here you don't even do shit. You don't defeat anyone that stops the incident. Like, you don't do anything. You just fight pointlessly, like more pointlessly than usual. Because, you know, Touhou fights are most of the time pointless, except for the final boss. In Touhou 9, every single fight is completely pointless. So if on story and lore, the only thing that you get introduced to is the Yama, which is Shikieki, Yamatsanadu, and Komachi. Well, and Aya as well, but Aya like appears so often that I don't think she needs an introduction. And also the thing that Touhou 9 has is that Yuka returns from PC98, which is a big thing. Although not that big, I guess, if you don't care about Yuka, but that was a big thing. It's kind of like Mima returning, right? It's just as magical. And yes, indeed, it's pretty unique. Touhou 9 and the Phantasmagoria kind of games, there's pretty much almost no game like that. Like, and I'm not just talking about Touhou, I'm talking about video games in general. There are not many games that had the Phantasmagoria formula. You can also play it with your friends, locally though, because the online is trash and it doesn't even work. But, like if you have a friend right next to you, you can play Touhou Versus, like a Danmaku Versus game. So I personally find it fun, and I really like Touhou 9, but I don't know if it's for everyone. In other words, beat it once and never touch it again. Well, I mean, you can always try different challenges, like for example, I mean, if you see my description below, I did a Lunati 1 coin clear, and even if for some people a Lunati 1 coin clear in Touhou 9 doesn't mean shit, I feel like it's, you know, pretty hard to do. I mean, pretty hard as long as you don't use the broken characters. Because there are some characters in that game that are literally, that they literally break the AI, and they just end the match in seconds, right? So as long as you don't use those characters, the game can be pretty challenging. And you can always try to do like a no bomb or a no gauge usage or things like that, a no miss, no hit, whatever you want to use, right? So it's not really those kind of games where you just touch once and forget about. You can do a lot of interesting challenge. The only problem is that nobody gives a shit about them, but you know, you don't need people to give a shit about them. You can just do it because you want to. fact, the final boss of that game of Touhou 9 can probably be a lot harder than most of the final bosses in Touhou series. Mostly because of this RNG aspect that I'm talking about, right? So, yeah, it's an interesting game. I personally like it, and I definitely will recommend you to try it. I don't know if you should try hard, but you know, it's interesting. Oh, also something that I forgot, when it comes to lore and story, most of the value comes from the dialogue, because in this game there is a lot of character interaction. Like, you have a character like Cyrno talking with someone like Raisin, that they have nothing to do with each other, and they talk because they are both playable. That's also another pretty interesting value of the game. A lot of characters are playable. Why would you say it's the hardest final boss in Touhou? I will say probably Sariel from Touhou 1. Although I don't know if that counts, because Touhou 1 is trash and dumb to smoke. So I don't think Touhou 1 counts. So if you're talking about the Windows era, I will say... Shunko, honestly. I don't think there's any other harder boss than Shunko on the Windows era. Even Shikiake is not as hard as Shunko is. Damn it. That's pretty hard to dodge. Damn it. Tried a bit of it, but it just didn't stick with me. Yeah, I guess, you know, it's just a matter of preference, right? Personally really liked it, but... Also, oh, the good thing about Touhou 9, I remember why I like it so much when I just was starting with Touhou. In Touhou 9 you can get the good ending by continuing. Like, no matter how many continues you use, I mean, well, as long as you don't run out of continues, basically you can just keep getting the good ending, right? And by getting the good ending you unlock the next characters. So that's pretty valuable to me. I tried a bit of... Oh, I already read that. I was hoping you would say that. From people who did Shunko perfect, they say it's by far the hardest boss. Yeah, it is. I mean, if you completely ignore PC98, which is basically Touhou 1, like Touhou from 1 to 5, then yes, Shunko is the hardest. But yeah, if we're taking into account PC98, Touhou 1 Sariel will probably be the hardest. But again, that's because that boss is complete horseshit. So, I mean, the game is complete horseshit. So, you know, it makes sense that in a game where the controls are trash, the boss will be the hardest one, right? Yeah, most of LoLK is the hardest. Like, hardest stage 3 boss, hardest stage 2 boss, hardest stage 5 boss, possibly hardest extra as well, if again we ignore PC98. Because in PC98 the hardest extra was by far, who was she called? Rukia? The girl that piloted the tank. Yeah, that was definitely the hardest extra boss in the series. Apparently perfect players say extra was the hardest as well. Yeah, I will expect that. Yeah, talking about Windows games, obviously. Yeah, PC98 was definitely something else. And again, you obviously know the reason why people don't mention them. Pretty much because like the hardest games, which are 1 and 2, are complete garbage, so and the other games, which are not 1 and 2, which are 3, 4 and 5, they are not that hard. Well, I guess you could say 3 is a little bit hard, but obviously not as much as 2 and 1. Yeah, the Shunko theme is really good. Doremi is basically the same or worse than Glove Piece to Perfect on Lunatic. Yeah, Doremi is a piece of trash. Doremi is one of those bosses where you would rather just forget about them. I mean, yes, Clompis is also a piece of trash, but at least Clompis is a stage 5 boss. And even if no stage 5 boss is as hard as Clompis, at least, you know, it makes sense that she's hard. Doremi has no right being that hard, which is the shit part, right? Oh, fuck. Oh, never mind. I got fucked anyways. Damn, that hit me. Pretty delayed, but it hit me. Doremi was the worst on my first playthrough, not difficulty-wise, but just the boss in general. Yeah, Doremi is pretty fucked up. PDH still takes 10 times longer than the rest of the game combined. Yeah, indeed. I mean, it's such a hard attack. In fact, it's gonna be funny because if I ever feel like giving up on this game, I feel like one of the first things that I might do is to just try PDH. I don't know why, I guess just as an intermission between this game and the next one, right? But yeah. I'm going to try and time out PDH on normal next. Alright. Is that hard to do? Because I honestly don't remember how PDH on normal was. I mean, I don't think I ever played it. No, I actually played the game on normal. It's just that it was so long ago that I don't remember. And I probably just bombed the hell out of PDH because I didn't play Point Device normal, so... Damn it. Son of a bitch. It's not nearly as hard as Lunatic PDH, but it's 2 minutes long. Damn. Timeout Lunatic PDH isn't happening yet though. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously incredibly hard. Damn, I'm getting blasted so much that it's pretty sad how much I am getting blasted. That did not hit me, you shithead. That definitely did not hit me. You piece of trash. Even after doing 120% speed PDH, my personal best is 50 seconds. Oh, I see. What is PDH? PDH is the... yeah, that. The final spell card from Shunko, known as Pristine Danmaku-Hel. Yeah, the overlapping circle thing, pretty much. I haven't captured it ever. I think I'm on a phase 4 timeout. Oh, yeah, phase 4. It's... well, basically, PDH is so hard that I feel like I stream 15 times, like full streams, right, of me trying to capture PDH and I just couldn't. Talking about Lunatic, obviously, right? So unless I get extremely lucky, because obviously that pattern is incredibly RNG based, unless I get lucky enough to do that, I just can't. Yeah. That's the perfect way to describe PDH. Damn, those tails of those shitty leeches, holy shit. That attack is just the worst. Yeah, it never walls you if you're good. Yeah, that's a pretty big if. Pretty big if. Actually called Pristine Danmaku-Hel. I thought that was a meme. No, that's the name of the spell card. I don't remember the name of Japanese. I remember I looked it up, but yeah, that's the translation. I think it's called something like Suigetsu Danmaku Shigoku, which means that I've been thinking of trying to perfect Hibachi's washing machine pattern ever since I saw it. I don't know what the washing machine pattern is though. Doesn't really ring a bell. You want a link of it? Sure. Sounds like one. I mean, Touhou itself sounds like a big meme. Have this flying shrine maiden trying to solve incidents by throwing mystic amulets. And most of the time, the fights are useless anyways, so... Ah, fuck. That was pretty bad timing. Nice, get fucked. I'm one hit away, probably two. I mean, never mind. I mean that on reverse, but that's fine. Don't mind me. Just stone. Enjoy. Oh, I see. Need to head out for tonight. Good luck with the game. Thanks, Mation. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Have a good night. All right. So what's this? Oh, fuck. And look at that shit. I can't even follow it and I'm not even playing. So I can't imagine how hard it will be to follow it while you're playing. Holy fuck. Interesting. Yeah, honestly, that shit's so hard for me that... I mean, I know, with enough practice I can probably get it, but that enough practice means literally thousands of hours. So, yeah, that's... I will pass. I will pass on that one. Damn, that was such a shit luck. Want to know something? Inbachi final attack is actually a buffed version of that and much greater speed, which is why that boss is considered so impossible. Yeah, I kinda remember Inbachi attack. Although I wouldn't have guessed that it was the same attack like that, but buffed. I remember seeing Inbachi attack and I'm like, I don't get what I'm seeing. Like, I'm not playing and I don't even get what the hell I'm seeing. So yeah, just judging by that, it's probably pretty close to impossible, and I fucked up. Gotten to a point now where I can tell what I'm seeing. I just haven't tried beating it yet, though. Imbachi's attack has safe spot apparently, and the video I show you there's a strategy to how you have to move. I see. Yeah, it is pretty hard though. You know, I feel like if there's a game where I actually wouldn't mind invest that amount of time, it will be in a fighting game. But you know, I'm too lazy to do that even, so yeah. I don't think even fighting games can get me out of my laziness of actually getting good in a game. I didn't have any platform below, damn it. The save spot in Imbachi is almost useless since it's at the side where you do almost 0 damage. But isn't Imbachi like... Do you have a time limit for Imbachi? Because if you don't have a time limit, you can just chill there, right? I will assume, I guess, right? That's the case. You can time it out. Yeah, I honestly have no idea either. I mean, I didn't even know there was a safe spot in the first place. And the person that did that survived for a few minutes there and nothing happened. Well, I mean, if you're gonna invest that much time into a boss, might as well try all the possibilities, right? I mean, if you're already investing hours into the boss, might as well invest hours into trying to see if the safe spot eventually kills them. Although, if that was the case, I'm pretty sure a lot more people would have done it already, right? Oh, fuck. If he spent 30 minutes in the safe spot, it will kill the boss. Exactly! That's what I mean. So if that's the case, I mean... might as well try it, right? I mean, it's not like you can say, oh, but I will waste my time. I mean... 30 minutes is not much when you compare it to the big picture that is practicing for a boss like that, so... Nice. Safe spots still skill based though, since there is actually 2 safe spots you need to move between, so you still need to be good. I see. The video I linked previously was actually a double Hibachi washing machine. That fight is pretty brutal. Yeah, I see. I guess that one doesn't have a safe spot, right? Because if there's 2 enemies it will be pretty hard if there was a safe spot. But since in Batch is only 1, maybe there is a safe spot there. I don't know. I don't even know how it works. There is some strategy on how you move. I see. to be really good, yeah. Yeah, I will assume. Oh fuck. I miss every single one of those. That's pretty unfortunate. Damn, that hit me. It's only because Inbatch actually uses attacks from all the previous two last bosses. One of them is even a Bacaner's Doom attack. That's pretty cool. Yeah, using... I like that about Cave, right? Like, Cave always references their other works in some way or another. That's really good to see. Probably should reset here. Well, I died, but if I get hit that much on the second like section, might as well just reset, right? Getsu is also something I like to play. Yeah, I like Getsui, but it's so hard. Like, Getsui is one of those games that it's so hard to get something good out of it, right? Because if you wanna get to the second loop, you gotta 1 point clear the main game. And 1 point clearing the main game is so hard. Yeah, I did play Getsui. Not on stream though, I played it a long time ago. And that game is really, really hard. You don't have any fancy mechanic there. It's basically pure Danmaku. And you have bombs, but... Damn it. As the nice 1 pixel hit was just like Resurrection. Damn, I didn't know that. But even with the 1 pixel hitbox, it's an extremely hard game. It has a DS port. Problem is that the DS port, I don't think you can make a full playthrough on that. But you have a practice mode there, where you can just skip to the final boss. Though obviously the dimensions are a lot smaller since you're playing on a DS, right? But yeah, you can do that. Damn it. Oh, fuck you. Doom final attack is one of the hardest attacks in cave games as well, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. I'm gonna give this boss a couple more tries before I end the stream because it's getting late and I'm also getting tired, so let me do this just for a couple more times. Nice how all their patterns are so unique. Yeah, but Kenya Doom is a really good boss. I just wish I was good enough to play it. I mean, just good enough to even get to it. Because getting to Eva Kenya Doom is really hard. And obviously defeating him is even harder, so yeah. It's quite a challenge. Damn it. Again with that, man, the momentum in this fight is so busted, like so badly done. You can use save state to get to him by technically cheating, yeah, I know, right? Well, I mean, again, you can just fight him in the DS version. The DS version lets you fight him, I think, on a fight that is pretty similar. Obviously different because of the DS constraints. But it's pretty good. I will tell you to give it a try, but you know. It's basically the closest you will get to a special edition of Ketsui. I think it's called Ketsuya Range. That DS port. But yeah, I don't think you can even play the full game there. You can just play sections of it. Kinda like how Arrange B in Dodonpachi works. Though a little bit, you know, a little more loyal to the original. Oh, it was on the middle one, I'm a dumbass. Damn, I got hit so much. Chain Resurrection has no slowdown, by the way. Yeah, I think I noticed that. Arrange A, I mean, it's the one that you play as the Daiyosho ship, right? I think. Or is that Arrange B? No, I'm pretty sure Arrange B is the one that has the point system with the black items, right? Luckily you can still no miss everything thanks to OP Hyper. Yeah, I see. Why did I double jump? That's fine, it worked regardless. And I fucked up. Oh, I did not fucked up. Aw, damn it, I hate that jump. Yeah, I know. I know that without Slowdown that final attack will be, well, is completely bullshit. Why am I getting killed consistently in that transition now? I am doing it too early, right? Probably am. Oh, the transition is bullshit. So I blame the transition for that. Wow, did I really die like that? What a fucking dumbass. Damn it. I wasn't fast enough to fall there. That transition is so damn bugged. That's fine. I think I'm gonna end it right here, cause yeah, I've been streaming for some time already, so you actually get slow even with hyper in range A. For the hyper that can sell all bullets, which is the only reason why you can survive. 1.5 Hibachi's final attack is doable even without slowdown. For example, she's extremely hard. For Black Label, the final attack for Hibachi and Satsusa is harder in the beginning compared to 1.5 Hibachi, so you can hyper can sell that. For some ways are actually easier. Interesting. Yeah, I guess at some point I can look into that, but probably not anytime soon. In any case, that's been today's stream. So I want to thank everyone for watching. Let me see if I can raid someone, but it seems like I can't. Damn it, no one playing Touhou. And when I say Touhou, I mean an official Touhou. Oh, that's fine. But yeah, in any case, good luck with the boss. Thanks. I think, even if it didn't look like it, I think I progressed a lot today. Like, yes, I know I got killed a lot, but I feel like my practice with this boss is progressing a little bit. But in any case, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next stream. Tomorrow is gonna be worse. Well, screw you. But yeah, See ya and take care.